And I'll do the same for you. How's that? Good morning, everyone. You can certainly sit down in the seats if you'd like. If you're more comfortable standing, you can do that as well. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Clays. I'm the current state forester for the North Dakota Forest Service. It's lovely to have you today. Ordinarily, we wish for a bright, sunny day just like today on Arbor Day. Today is the first time I've ever wished for rain because you folks could definitely use it in this area. We are delighted to be here on campus again. In 2020, early 2020, we started to plan the celebration with Dakota College and our staff. And then, of course, the world changed. So we are very pleased that Dakota College was willing to and happy to host the celebration. Our staff are here today. We've got a number of people from the community. So again, welcome to the 2021 State Arbor Day celebration. And with that, if you'd stand for the posting of the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. I've got a proclamation today to share with you. And it feels like everything is new these days. It's been a long time since we've been out in public and with staff and with others. So if I'm smiling a lot, it's because I'm happy to be here and happy to be back in Botno. The proclamation reads, Arbor Day, May 7th, 2021. Whereas Arbor Day in North Dakota falls on the first Friday of the month of May and honors the role of trees play in our lives, tree planting is also an annual tradition in North Dakota, an investment in the state's future. And whereas healthy and diverse tree resources are vital components of any urban and rural planting efforts, and particularly in reestablishing efforts following catastrophic events, and whereas trees make direct and visible contributions to our health, safety, and economy by providing clean air and water, wind protection and erosion control, wildlife habitat, recreational opportunities, essential wood products, and beauty. And whereas trees instill community pride, work as living snow fences, screen unpleasant sights, increase property values, and memorialize significant events, and whereas tree planting efforts continue to promote the importance of trees and symbolically represent a commitment to the past, the present, and the future by creating a living legacy, and whereas planting trees is a perfect way to leave a valuable gift for future generations to enjoy. Now, therefore, as Governor of the State of North Dakota, I do hereby proclaim May 7th, 2021 Arbor Day in the state of North Dakota, signed Doug Burgum. Arbor Day does provide many opportunities, and the opportunity to plant trees memorializes people, it memorializes events, and it allows us to not only think about the past, but to think forward about the future. And as we plant trees today together, we'll all be thinking about the future. The last year was significant for all of us. It represented a tremendous amount of challenges, and it continues to. So as we plant this tree today, we're thinking forward, and we're thinking hopefully about the future of all of us, about all of North Dakota, the nation, and the world. I also want to congratulate Dakota College of Botno. They are now a Tree University USA, Tree Campus University. They joined 3 other campuses in North Dakota, so we're delighted that there is an interest in this program. They also joined 54 Tree City communities across the state of North Dakota, and that means they have a commitment to trees, to tree planting, to the beautification of the state of North Dakota, to the community and the campus. So I want to extend our congratulations to the campus and to all those that were involved in this designation and to making Botno a better place to visit, to work in, and to go to school in. So thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Larry Kochman, the former State Forester of North Dakota. It's indeed a pleasure to be with you this morning, and happy Arbor Day. I see a lot of familiar faces after 2 years of retirement. It's great to be back on campus and to see many of you. Dakota College at Botno opened its doors in 1906 as the School of Forestry with 30 students. And through the college's 115 years of existence, forestry, the science and art and practice of creating and managing and using and conserving trees to meet the needs of future generations has always remained a common theme in its mission. As we celebrate Arbor Day today, I wanted to share some of the history and some of the contributions that the Dakota College at Botno has made through the years to caring and planting trees throughout our state. You know, when you look back right now and you see all the trees around this campus and in the community, it certainly wasn't that way when the settlers arrived. When they first came to the prairies, there were no trees, and there were no trees to construct homes or to heat their homes with. And this lack of trees really helped homesteaders motivate them towards planting for the things that they needed, such as housing and fuel and fencing and protection against a harsh environment. And when North Dakota became a state in 1889, the state constitution authorized a school of forestry to develop tree species and for developing tree planting techniques. And through an election on November 6th, 1894, Bottineau was selected for the site for the School of Forestry, I think because of its proximity to the Turtle Mountains and all the trees that were here in this area. But after 12 years post-election, the state still had not appropriated any money for the school, and the Bottineau community business people took it upon themselves to raise $2,500 so they could officially found the school on June 8th of 1906. And one of the most unique things, I think, in the history is the fact that the college's first forestry project involved starting a tree nursery on campus with a donation of 600 trees from the U.S. Forest Service. And then by 1913, the legislature had passed the Forestry Nursery Act that established the North Dakota's first official state forest nursery at the School of Forestry here in Bottineau. And this legislation was also unique in that it was one of the nation's first forestry departments as well, because the president of the School of Forestry also became the state forester. And F.W. Smith was named the first state forester and president that year. By 1915, the School of Forestry had purchased additional land on the west side of Bottineau. It's now known as Bottineau Forestry Park. And they started and expanded their state forest nursery operations to that area. Ash, box elder, cottonwood, lilac, and elm tree seeds were planted. And in 1916, the first 1 million seedlings from the state forest nursery were distributed across the state for tree planting by farmers. And another interesting item was that legislation in 1929 said the cost of a seedling shall not exceed 1 penny. We still have legislation like that, but the price has, of course, gone up. When the unprecedented drought of the 1930s struck, agricultural practices were deemed not practical to prevent soil erosion, and as a result, it created a dust bowl from the state of North Dakota all the way to the state of Texas. A tremendous amount of interest in tree planting arose again, but was for a new reason, and that was to prevent soil erosion. As we look around with our weather patterns today, and we see that 83% of North Dakota is in an extreme drought right now, makes you wonder if perhaps those days could come again. But the School of Forestry stepped forward and cooperated with the U.S. Forest Service to test the hardiness and usefulness of trees for protecting farms and ranches during the 1930s. In 1934, the creation of the Prairie States Forestry Project gave an enormous boost of funding to state forestry agencies to plant and grow more seedlings. Students at the School of Forestry could work off their tuition expenses by working at the State Forest Nursery for 30 cents an hour. By 1945, programs and staff had expanded to a great extent, and the legislature decided to separate the budgets for forestry and for instruction, and the North Dakota Forest Service became a branch of the college campus. Both still remain under the direction of the president and state forester. By 1951, the North Dakota Forest Service opened a nursery at the former U.S. Forest Service facility 2 miles north of Towner, and that became Towner State Nursery. And by 1977, the Bottineau Nursery was phased out and all the production was concentrated at Towner. Over the years, the State Board of Higher Education has changed the alignment and governance for the School of Forestry and for the North Dakota Forest Service. Now known as the Dakota College at Bottineau and being aligned with Minot State University, the college has developed the nature, technology, and beyond focus from its founding forestry mission in 1906. The North Dakota Forest Service remains part of the land grant institution with a mission in public service with the State Forester reporting to the President of North Dakota State University. Although the college and the Forest Service became two separate agencies, one constant has remained through the years: their long-standing commitment to share staff, facilities, and resources. Their cooperative efforts in classroom instruction and in public service and in research have been instrumental in making sure that we have a quality educational experiences on campus. We have strengthened student and customer services. They've promoted interagency teamwork. They've encouraged community collaboration, and they've all done this to address emerging natural resources issues. Significant projects over the years have included the Centennial Trees Program with a goal of planting 100 million trees, the establishment of a community forestry program to assist communities and towns with the care of their trees, landowner assistance programs to help promote the management and care of trees and forests, and finally information and education to reach out to K through 12 students to help awareness about natural resource values. So as we look toward the future that lies ahead for North Dakota, it's important to remember that the pioneers of forestry built a strong foundation of dedication and professionalism that continues on this campus today. During my tenure as state forester, it was always indeed an honor to partner with the college, and we congratulate Dr. Migler as well as the faculty and staff on receiving the Tree Campus Higher Education designation from the National Arbor Day Foundation. This award exemplifies their care and concern for the environment at a time when we need it the most. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Larry. I can't think of a more fitting site to have this celebration when you look back at Old Main and you see the School of Forestry still right above the main entrance. And if any of you have ever seen photos of Old Main from way back when, it was pretty bare. It would be, I don't know if they could imagine 115 years ago what this campus would look like. And so I can say on behalf of Dakota College at Bottineau that we take this legacy of forestry and of being a tree campus very seriously. But it takes people to make that vision happen. And I want to talk just a little bit about becoming a tree campus, because it's not an automatic. It takes a commitment, and there are actually 5 key criteria that had to be put in place to become a tree campus. I think because of the history that we have at Dakota College, a number of these things had already been in place, but nevertheless, we still had to make some adjustments. One was to have a tree, an advisory committee on campus. And the Arbor Foundation is pretty specific. It has to have a student, has to have faculty, has to have people from facility management, and people from the community. And so that was a step that was put in place. And I really need to focus on some people that are here today. Some are not able to be here. But I'm going to single them out. They may not want the recognition because they just are people that they do the job, and the recognition isn't what drives them. But I want to specifically highlight people from our horticulture department. Keith is in the back. Keith, if you would raise your hand. Keith Knutson is our department chair, and his commitment to this project has been there from day one. Is April here? April Mobby is our farm manager and technical specialist within the horticulture department. Her commitment is absolutely, it's above 100%. I know you can't have that, but hers is above 100% to projects like this. Holly Mobby I do want to recognize her. It's kind of bittersweet because Holly passed away a little over a week ago, but was a driver in kind of the concept of being a tree campus. A couple of our faculty, Dr. Shubham Datta, Angie Bartholomew, Daryl Waters from our physical department, now Stewart, and then I really want to zero in on Cody Clemenson, who is a Forest Service employee but is located on the campus, and that bridge between having the cooperation between the Forest Service and DCB was absolutely critical, and I think it's because of that partnership that we're able to make things like this happen. So while it's a recognition of the tree campus, it's really a recognition of people that have this commitment and to continue the legacy that we see at Dakota College. So that was step number one. Standard number two was to have a tree care plan. I think we had a little bit of that, but having the requirement that we formalize that is good for us, and that has been done. I think that's going to be a good roadmap for us as we think about the requirements that we have for planting new trees, for taking care of the trees that we have, and even removing trees when that time is appropriate. So that's the tree care plan. The third standard was to have dedicated annual expenditures, meaning that we have a budget. And I think there's a saying that if it's got money behind it, it's going to get done. Actually, we've had that. We've never really formalized it, but I think as part of the plan, we have a goal of dedicating resources to make sure that we can continue the plan that's been put in place. And this is going to get a big shot in the arm from the USDA, or actually the Department of Agriculture, with the orchard grant. And you're going to see, it was publicized in the paper, about a $20,000 grant so that we can continue our commitment to agroforestry, but specifically with orchard plantings, and that's going to start, I think, this spring. I think some of the trees are here and ready to go. So lots of good things are going to be happening. Standard number 4 is the Arbor Day observance. We had typically, for the last 10 plus years, have had our conservation award that's scheduled on the same day as Earth Day or during that week. And we typically have planted a tree in remembrance or in recognition of an award winner. And that will continue that process. And then finally, standard number 5 is a service learning project. And that was not hard to do from what I understand, because we have had students that have been involved on tree projects on the campus for a number of years. But things of cleaning up where the new orchard is going to be, clearing some of the buckthorn that was becoming invasive. Cody's GPS students have actually started inputting and keeping a log of what our tree inventory looks like on campus. Horticulture students are doing pruning. So I think a lot of the basics were there. It was just a matter of formalizing and putting that plan into place. It's so appropriate that this campus, which started out as the North Dakota State School of Forestry, becomes one of the first campuses to become tree campus in North Dakota. And so we're proud to be a part of that. 115 years ago, that vision was planted, and we're hoping to take that into the next 100 years. So again, we're pleased that that Arbor Day is being held here at Dakota College at Bottineau, and we look forward to our continued association with the Forest Service.
On behalf of the North Dakota Forest Service, the National Association of State Foresters, and the Arbor Day Foundation, we're pleased to present the Tree Campus USA to Dakota College at Bottineau. Larry Kochman and I would love to present this.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again. At this point, we have two things we want to share with you. The first one is we're going to do a tree planting just around the corner. We'd be delighted if you would participate. The other thing, equally important, is there's food and there's refreshments back here. There are also conifers from Towner State Nursery on the table. Please take 1 or 2. Don't leave any because our staff will grab those up and do horrible things with them. Just kidding. Please take them with you to commemorate the day. Plant them the right tree, the right place, in the right location. So be cautious about where you plant those and be respectful. And with that, we will have a little bit of information about the tree we're planting from Beth Hill, our Outreach and Education Manager.
Thank you again, everybody, for attending the 2021 State Arbor Day here at Dakota College at Bottineau. So during our Arbor Day celebrations, we always plant an American elm cultivar called Ulmus americana Lewis and Clark, and the trade name for that is Prairie Expedition. This is a development from North Dakota State University, released in 2004 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the expedition of Meriwether Lewis and William Clark across the newly acquired western portion of the country after the Louisiana Purchase. The American elm is recognized as North Dakota's state tree. However, the population was decimated upon the arrival of Dutch elm disease in the state. This cultivar was cloned from a tree discovered in 1994 along the Wild Rice River southwest of Fargo, North Dakota, where all those around it had succumbed to Dutch elm disease. Today, the Prairie Expedition elm is an excellent, cold-hardy, Dutch elm disease-resistant American elm selection used in many boulevard, park plantings, and other large open spaces.
Please grab some refreshments and join us.
On a cool day, this is a good project. Come on. We need a shaker. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome.
Don't say that's from the wind.
Mines this year hunted down at the logging camp.
Yeah.
Very different. We saw plenty, but none of them wanted to cooperate.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to work out. Because he's following the head on right out the roof. They're following the gate. Oh. The pins went right by. Oh. He's going to come back. He did.
Yeah. Did they respond to any calling or decoying or anything?
Oh, yeah. I should have had him 2 days earlier. Who's next?
I think you're done.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of getting...
You'll warm me up. Don't bury it too deep.
Be bad luck for
I knew you'd do it.
I know, right? You gotta go to the Ric Flair and
Yep.
stop.
Really excited for the agroforestry project for the community over here.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. You know, if you ever get a chance to visit the Arbor Day Festival,
So you're doing community forestry again?
I am.
it's a fantastic.
TC said you were the PIO.
I did.
Yep, I still have.
I did.
Oh.
So I didn't get blisters this time. It was a tough decision. I really like
I didn't even know
Finish this up.
Yeah. Yep.
that.
So they were inspiring a lot of involvement like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there'd be,
Gives you an idea of what.
well, this year especially, there's gonna be a lot of work.
Probably good
There already is a lot of stuff going on.
One of those places that when it's inspiring.
It's a fantastic facility.
Get in there for a photo op.
Okay.
Photo up. I'm gonna hook the tree and stand it upright.
Yeah.
I won't sink if I stand in here, will I?
Might.
Make me look shorter than I already am.
There we go.
Fourth grader.
Should we do one without math?
Yeah.
Okay. So they'll know who the notorious ones are.
can see who we are, so.
Ready?
My hair look okay?
Yep. You get it?
Fantastic.
Awesome.